Series 59, we're in Shapedum, chapter 17, verse 2. And he said to his mother, the 1100 pieces of silver that were taken from you, and on which you put a curse, even saying it in my ears, look, the silver is with me, I took it. And his mother said, bless it up. We have the name of God here, Hebrew translation, be my son. And he gave back the 1100 pieces of silver to his mother, and his mother said, I had truly set apart the silver from my hand too. We have the name of God here, for my son, to make a carved image and a molded image, and now I give it back to you. And he gave the silver back to his mother, and his mother took 200 pieces of silver and gave them to the silversmith, and he made it into a carved image and a molded image, and they were in the house of Mikau. Chapter 19. And it came to be in those days, when there was no sovereign in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the further side of the mountains of Ephraim, and he took for himself a concubine from Bethlehem in Yehudah. And his concubine committed whoring against him, and went away from him to her father's house at Bethlehem in Judah, and was there 4 new moons of days. And her husband arose and went after her to speak to her heart and bring her back, having his servant and a couple of donkeys with him. And she brought him into her father's house, and the father of the young woman saw him, and he was glad to meet him. As we go to verse 10, but the man would not stay that night. And he arose and left, and came to a place opposite Jebus, that is, Jerusalem, and with him were the 2 saddled donkeys, and his concubine with him. As we go to verse 22, they were making their hearts glad, and see, men of the city, sons of Belial, surrounded the house, beating on the door, and they spoke to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring out the man who came to your house, so that we know him. But the master of the house, went out to them and said to them, no, my brothers, I beg you, do no evil. Since this man has come into my house, do not do this folly. Look, here is my maiden daughter and the man's concubine. Let me bring them out now and humble them, and do with them what is good in your eyes. But do not do such a foolish matter to this man. But the man would not listen to him. So the man took hold of his concubine and brought her out to them. And they knew her and rolled themselves on her all night until morning, and let her go when the day began to break. And as morning appeared, the woman came back and fell down at the door of the man's house where her master was till it was light. As we go to verse 28, and he said to her, rise up and let us go. But there was no answer. Then he took her on the donkey, and the man rose and went to his place, and came into his house, and took a knife, then took hold of his concubine, and cut her up limb by limb into 12 pieces, and sent her throughout all the borders of Israel.